What is up, Raptors Digest? I'm already having some technical difficulties here. Doing my first live stream solo. Obviously, I'm Josh. I've been doing it with Ben and Riker for a while now, but having my first own kick at it. And so here we go. These are big shoes to fill, I won't lie, but nonetheless, this is going to be a lot of fun. I've got some bets going. The Raptors are not winning at the moment. We are currently down, as you can see on the screen, by 3 points. But you know what? We're at a 500. We beat the Pacers earlier this season. Obviously, they're going to be hungry to come back and beat us. We don't have many viewers in here right now, but for everyone who's just piling in now, thank you so much. I'll just reiterate this. I'm doing a solo tonight for the first time in a while. This is probably going to be more of a routine structure for our channel. They like to do the post games. I'm sure some of them will sit in with me whenever they're able to. But hey, you know what? This is going to be something pretty consistent for most of the games this season. And another thing I'm consistently doing is betting on the Raptors. So I got a Chris Boucher to make 1 3-pointer tonight, as you can see here in the top left of the screen. Delano Banton, the guy none of us expected to be getting this much leash early in the season. And then we also have over 14.5 points for Scottie Barnes. We'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. Thanks again for everyone coming in. If you guys have any bets on your game tonight of your own, please throw it down. I want to hear what you guys are doing. And I'm excited. Fred so far has been scoring. He's at 7 points. Scottie Barnes, man. Scottie Barnes. This kid is going to be a star. We saw him go coast to coast in just 3 dribbles and slam it down like he's Giannis. He's looking like he's actually got a jump shot, which supposedly he just had a bad little floater or something as his only go-to in college. He's expanded his repertoire. The Raptors got their hands on him, and he's already developing. I'm going to check out the chat right now. Again, thanks for everyone who's come in. Inaugural live stream, and of course, I had to screw up the intros. Just makes sense. I'm not very techy, but I'll get better and better with this. It's going to be interesting to see how Indiana does this season, because I really don't think their roster is that bad, but Karis LeVert back tonight, that's obviously even helped them early in the game. Super underrated player, man. We got to see a little bit of him there in Brooklyn the year that we swept them. Not the best overall Brooklyn team, but you could see that Karis LeVert has a ton to offer. That's when Dinwiddie was playing there as well. And, he's going to be a huge part of this team going forward. Marcel Martin, Josh with the good hair. I trimmed it up a little bit. Some people were pressuring me to get a mullet. I didn't really... I think the mullet looks cool, but I don't know if I can show up to work with a mullet, right? I'm not just like a high school kid playing in hockey playoffs anymore, so it's not quite as appealing on me, but appreciate it. OG's looking like he's developing into quite the player. Oh, here we go. Chris Boucher bangs a 3. I've hit that bet so far. You love to see that. I was honestly a little worried about it. Chris has looked shaky to start the season, but he's going to figure it out. He is going to figure it out. Sabonis, speaking of underrated players, he does a ton. He stuffs the stat sheet, really. I got a chat right now asking, what do you use for bets? So I use Bet365. What I really love about that platform is it allows you to bet on individual player props. So basically, I can parlay, like you can see in the top left of the corner here, a bunch of different players to meet certain lines. And typically, from my experience at least, most betting apps don't do that. And ooh, that was a hard foul by Boucher. He let him feel it, man. I love that the Raptors now have the reputation of being a really physical group. I've also used Betway before. I don't mind Betway, but yeah, they don't let you do the player prop parlays. And apparently now they've done it for the NFL too. So Bet365 will allow you to parlay player props in the NFL for all you football fans out there. Marcel Martin advising me to pull up with a mullet to work and tell my boss that I'm the captain now. You know what? If he starts to upset me or something, and I'm like, okay, I need to quit or get fired, whatever it is, I'm just out of there, I'll make sure I do it in that fashion. It'll definitely involve a mullet. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. And then Frazel in the chat saying, pro tip, use multiple books. I do. I use Betway, Bet365. DraftKings is a really cool concept as well, but I do not actively use them too often. I had an account at one point, but Raptors currently down by 3. Second quarter, 8 minutes left. Let's see where we can go from here. And another question about the bets: do you have to bet before the game starts, or can you bet when the game's going? So you usually, at least for Bet365, you need to do it pregame. But I think there are some apps out there, like maybe even FanDuel, who allows you to do it live. But it's so tough to do that, just projecting the odds in the middle of the game. Is he going to stop? Is he going to keep going? There's so many variables that I think that the majority of bet providers do it all pregame. At least Bet365 does. Yeah, and Fanfiction Pop-Tart asking, is this still an all-in bet? So yes, it is. This is completely just a parlay. So if I miss one of them, none of it hits. And of course, I'm always going to be less likely to hit all of them. But I mean, I got to parlay them to show some confidence. And I mean, I believe in the picks. And usually I show before the game all the different picks I made. I didn't release one today because I was busy getting set up along with a few other things. But check out our Twitter, our TikTok on game days, because sometimes I'll be dropping the bets that I'm making. I want to hear what you guys are betting on. And we'll all be riding these bets together. We'll experience some lows, some highs, some anger, some happiness. That's how betting goes. But be responsible at the end of the day. And Marcel Martin saying only 35 viewers. Got to put some respect on Josh's name. Look, Marcel, I appreciate you. This is the first step of many, though. This is going to be something I'm doing every game. And you know what? I was a fan of the Raptors Digest before I even got on here. So I definitely know how much Ben and Riker mean to all of us in terms of being the voices of Raptors post-games analysis, all of that. These are huge shoes to fill. I definitely got to prove myself to the community, but this is the first step of many, and I appreciate every one of the viewers that are in here right now. So thank you guys. You guys are the best. And we're getting another question here in the chat. Josh, are you guys really from Newfoundland with all of your Irish accents? I kind of butchered the reading of that, but essentially I think that's what you meant to say. No, I'm not from Newfoundland, actually. I'm from the Greater Toronto area. I live in Newmarket, which is about 35 minutes out of the city. I can't pull off Toronto, though. I know people in Etobicoke, people in Scarborough, North York, they're all Toronto and they get kind of slammed for it. Newmarket is full on suburbs. I cannot pull that card. But yeah, Ben and Riker, they are East Coasters. I tend to think I don't have an East Coast accent. I certainly don't have a Toronto one. I don't sound like Delano, but I'm working on it. Maybe I will sound a lot like Delano by the end of all this. Hopefully not. But yeah, I'm from Newmarket. I've always been a big fan of the Raptors. But I do need to go out east sometime to visit Ben and Riker. Marcel Martin, we need the origin story on how you joined. Thank you, man, for the super chat. I got to apologize for this right now. I don't have the animation for the super chat hooked up. I had the old one, the Lowry one. And Lowry, he's a hero in Toronto, but he's no longer a Raptor. I was waiting to get the Scottie one, but shouts out Marcel Martin for the super chat. All right, I'll give the origin story really quick. So I went to Western University where I studied politics. I learned to be a really good writer and analyze things. I've always been a huge Raptors fan. And I've always been a fan of the Raptors Digest. And it became a point towards the end of university where I started to write about the team. Like I said, I've always been a diehard. I've always been plugged in with what's going on in terms of analysis and different channels following the team. But this was my first time wanting to be an actual content creator. So I opened up a page where I was blogging about the Raptors. And I think I'd released 30 articles when I reached out to Ben and Riker, both of them, through the Instagram DM. That's how it happened. And I told them to check out my stuff, and I love their channel, and for them to get back in contact with me if there was ever an opportunity to do some work. And I was fortunate enough to hear back from them, and you know what? Fast forward a long time. I mean, they've had to groom me up, right? At first, I wasn't used to being on camera. I do think that, I feel like I have a skill set where I can do it, but it's definitely something you need to work on, get some confidence, practice speaking. I've been doing some live streams on Courtside, Leafs Digest as well. For anyone who's been following that, go check us out. We just hit 1,000 subs, so thank you to anyone here who's a mutual subscriber of the Leafs Digest. I appreciate it greatly, and we are going to the moon, so subscribe now if you haven't. But I've had all these great opportunities to practice, and now we're here on live stream on essentially what I'm considering day one of the long live streaming career on the channel. So thank you again to all the viewers. We're now up to around 50. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. And the score of the game right now, it's saying on the screen 24-29. Pacers up right now. See if we can twist this around. The Raptors have been sort of hot, cold. I mean, we had an issue there for a while. We were starting good, dropping off in the middle of the game, and then finishing good. It's gotten us back to 3-3, but for a while there, after the 1-3 start, I was really getting concerned about this team's consistency to play from start to finish. We're going to figure it out. Nick Nurse is a great coach. I've only really been upset with him a few times in his career here. I think the Malachi thing was confusing to everyone. But Delano Banton's showing out. So how much can I really even say? I think he's being super hard on Flynn, but I can't question him. It's Nick Nurse. Getting some questions about the Leafs here. I'll try to keep everything. And someone noticing that I have the improved camera. I've had this webcam for a bit, but I just finally went and bought an adapter today, so it's all hooked up. I couldn't start my first live stream with just the standard MacBook webcam. I was getting torched for that. You guys weren't letting me live for that one, but now we're good. Now it's a little bit high def. It's not like perfect, but it's better than what I was using before. Someone bringing up Cade in the chat right now. Cade's looking good. Yeah, so this is his first game back after starting the season with an injury. I haven't checked out Cade's stat line recently, but someone say he's playing like he's a center right now. I think someone in our actually the Raptors Digest Fantasy Basketball League said that. I haven't seen it, but apparently he's playing a big man's game right now, which, I mean, probably just a funny observation for his first game back. But Cade's legit. Cade is legit. This whole class is just so deep. I mean, even into Josh Giddey went 6th overall, but like he's another guy where it's like, oh, he looks pretty special. Book Knight looks like he's a really great scorer, even though we saw a lot more of that in the preseason and summer league. Moses Moody is going to be really good. Kuminga has a pretty high ceiling in my opinion. Obviously, Scottie Barnes, what a player. And then the top three are just simply loaded. Mobley's looking insane, by the way. He's having a very quiet, not quiet, but underappreciated start to the season. He's going to be legit. When it's only Josh on the stream, we gotta go by the Goody Mob. I love that. The Goody Mob. Everyone, welcome to the Goody Mob. Thank you guys. We got still around 50 viewers in here. Appreciate every single one of you. Svi Mikhailuk, Sviji Water, just bangs a 3. You love to see that. I was debating throwing a bet on it tonight. I usually do. I like Svi, and they always kind of lowball him on the gambling lines. Miles Turner. People have been asking for that guy to be a Raptor forever. We get scored on from 3 there. Currently down by 3. We had it at a tie game, but Holiday just hits a 3 on us. I don't think it's a foul there. Let's talk a little bit about Chris Duarte. Wow. When I was mentioning rookies, his name definitely should have came up. This is just like insane. Like he's a player, just a absolute bullseye shooter. He's got a high defensive motor. He seems really mature. Montreal's finest. It's crazy. I'm pulling for Chris Duarte. I don't want him to win Rookie of the Year because that's going to belong to Scottie Barnes, but he can go ahead and be second in voting. So Josh, who do you think will win in the All-Star Games, Team USA or Team World? I'm going to go ahead and say Team World. If you look at the awards in in like recent years, Svi on the head top. Anyways, if you look at the past few seasons, you're going to notice that international players, anytime people have taken gambles on them in the draft, kind of like ruled them out as, he can't win this, he can't do that. I mean, Nikola Jokic, an MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo, broken jump shot, can't shoot free throws. Janky from 3. He's a finals MVP, dropping 50 in the closeout game. Luka Doncic, I think he's one of the front runners to maybe go and get MVP this season. I'm going to go ahead and say it's the international team that's probably going to win. And also, the Canadian talent obviously goes to that team, which I think there's a ton of in the league now. But who knows? The USA is always stacked. Maybe I'm just giving a biased answer, but that's where I'm standing on it. Brandon B asking, why don't we try and trade Dragic? I'm sure they're exploring some opportunities right now, but I mean, I'm sure you already know Dragic isn't even getting like playing time with us, and we're a relatively young and inexperienced roster. So, Scottie Barnes, man, He's so calculated. Everything he does is with a purpose. It's high IQ, and he does it with definitiveness. I'm a huge Scottie Barnes guy. Back on topic here. Why don't we go ahead and trade Dragic? His value is just too low at the moment. He's going to go to a contender. That's who's going to be interested in getting him. And right now, he doesn't look valuable enough to do that. And, I'm sure he'll figure it out, though. Nick Nurse has already told him, stay ready. And that's the right thing to say to him. Dragic is super legit. He's been proven in this league. He's a great veteran. He can bring a lot to a contender, but just right now, he hasn't shown it with the Raptors, which is why, presumably, he hasn't been moved. And eventually, I'm sure they will move him because even if we're winning, he hasn't really been out there. So even a good season for us doesn't mean we necessarily hold on to Goran. So who are your Eastern Conference All-Stars? You know what? I'm not going to go through the whole list just because we're in the middle of the live game. Oh, missed by Svi. That was a good shot. One guy I'm going to throw out there who I think is going to have a really good season, and I just traded him to Ben in our fantasy league. I'm kicking myself for that trade. I'm kicking myself for my trade. He's persuasive. You guys already know. Ben is persuasive. So he got me to send him Kyle Kuzma in a big trade. I'll go over that in a sec. But Kyle Kuzma, I think, had he not already averaged 18 points in his career, I think he could go out and be an MIP because he's just going to do so much better in Washington this year than I think he would have done with the Lakers really at any point. That change of scenery is going to be super refreshing, and I know the East is a lot better. I'm going to say LaMelo Ball is definitely a lock to be an all-star, which is a bold statement, but he's playing out of his mind. But yeah, Kyle Kuzma, watch out for him. I don't know about all-star, but extremely improved, 100%. I'll maybe make a video at some point breaking down some Eastern Conference All-Stars with Ben and Riker when we get a chance to all link up again on the channel. Oh my God, I'm looking at the chat right now and you guys are saying Malachi Flynn is coming in. I just peered up at the screen. I'm also hearing him a little bit behind right now. My boy Malachi. This is great news. I'm not seeing Malachi in yet. I'm sure I will in a second. But I've been wondering why we're not playing him. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of internal reason. The obvious reason is Delano Banton. But still, he showed out in the last half of, or in the final half of last season. And then in the preseason / summer league, I still think he looked pretty good. They didn't really play him early in the preseason. But when they did, eventually, I think he figured it out and he's done really well. He's another guy you're going to need to give some leash out there to really get your value out of him. Marcel Martin, you're right about Kuzma. If you look at a lot of the ex-Lakers who played with LeBron, they left and improved big time. Kuzma, Ingram, Ball. I couldn't agree more. And that's a super chat. So Marcel Martin, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you. I don't have an animation right now. I've been already saying this to the viewers here. I'm going to get that all figured out in these next few coming episodes. Definitely it'll be good by next one. But thank you for the super chat. Kuzma, it's tough to play as a young player with LeBron. He always prefers veterans. It's evident through his transaction history as the GM. So I'm not surprised that it didn't work out for all those players. What a crazy amount of pressure to go into, especially when LeBron's always looking, it's all or nothing, right? And that's the way the greats are going to approach the game. It's stressful to be around. But you know what? They're gonna end up figuring it out where they're at now, and we've already seen that with Ingram and MIPs. So it'd only be fitting if we got to see Kuzma go ahead and do the same thing. That trade's looking pretty lopsided now. I mean, you get like 5 rotation players and some draft assets for Russell Westbrook, who's really struggled to kind of integrate so far with the Lakers. It's looking like a lopsided trade in my opinion. Frazel, welcome to the Elite Tier membership. Thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate you. Welcome to the community here of Elite Tiers on the channel. Awesome to have more people in that. Definitely sign up if you guys haven't yet. We appreciate everyone. It's an exciting community here. Hop in the Discord as well. That is something that's going to be popping off. We do live chats during the game, talk trades, all this stuff. Maybe I'll even hop on there at some point and stream through that. But obviously right now we're doing everything through YouTube. Scottie Barnes with the ball right now, squaring up Holiday. Let's see what happens. All right, Scottie, show me something. Show me something, man. Couldn't find his shot, but it's with OG now. OG from 3. Oh. Yeah, it was an air ball. It's all right, OG. That's all right. We're down by 1 right now. 47 Indiana, 46 Toronto. I really don't know how far I am behind you guys. Hopefully not too much, but Malachi Flynn in the game. Let's see what he's got. I do have a Delano Banton bet tonight, but I mean, I don't care about the money. I want to see Malachi Flynn do well. Steal by Precious. Oh, that's a big physical body. Oh, kind of a blown layup by Precious there, but yeah, he's playing physical. He'll figure it out. Precious has such a high motor. I'm confident the Raptors are just the ultimate development team. A-Cat in the chat pointing out that Achiuwa needs to finish. You're not wrong. Oh my, yeah, he just did it again. That's probably what you were referencing. So yeah, Achiuwa, another blown layup. It's not great. And I think the refs kind of put the whistles away early in this one. If you guys remember, even Rick Carlisle was looking over, or not Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Pacers. I can't remember. But yeah, early in this game, it's already looked a little bit like, okay, we're just putting away the whistles. I don't know why I said Rick Carlisle is head coach of the Mavs. Or no, that's Kidd now. That's Jason Kidd. My God, I'm making myself look terrible out here. But anyways, it seems like the refs have really stepped back this year, especially with all these calls being made. Look at Trae Young. He's pointing out to Booker. He's pointing out to Lillard, saying like, these guys are averaging such few points. They're hurting the game. We got to institute the old foul rules. That's some sucker stuff. I don't like it. Ja Morant's averaging 35. You can go and figure it out. And it just makes the viewership so much better of the game. Ooh, Chris Duarte trying to pull up from deep. Malachi from half. Oh, he hit it off the glass. That could have been close. Oh, I don't know why the live scoreboard isn't updating. It's weird. This is updating ultra slow. It's not even like frozen. It just went to 38. All right, well, scoreboard's broken. I'll see if I can figure this out in the coming moments here, but we got over 60 people now in here. Thank you guys so much. I'm just going to, again, briefly update everyone. This is my first live stream on the channel. That's a solo, at least. Ben and Riker, I've been learning under them for a while now, doing some collaborating content. I mean, anytime I'm really on this channel, it's with them. And this is, I'm spreading my wings right now, trying to do it on my own. And they love to do the post-game analysis, trade breakdown, all of that good stuff. And I leave that to them. That's their own thing. Obviously, they have a golden dynamic that we all love watching. But when it comes to the live streams, I'm trying to take over a bit of that. So thank you to everyone showing love, support. I definitely appreciate you. And I just got a text from my co-host of the Leafs Digest, Zach Phillips, saying that Bunting scored in the game. There we go. That's big news for any Leafs fans in the chat here. Right now, I've got bets on Chris Boucher. He's hit his three-pointer, so that one's money. Delano Banton, I have him at 5.5 points. I saw him at least get one bucket, and it's seemingly stayed that way. And now with Malachi Flynn in the game, his minutes might be cut up a little bit, which I'm not too upset about because Malachi's my boy, but hopefully we can hit that bet regardless. And then the last one, Scottie Barnes, 14.5. Man, that could happen at any time. He's a star. Do not sleep on him. Frazzle, oh my God, with a hammer of a super chat. You're going great, kid. My 4th/5th time seeing you. This channel's content, or seeing this. What's going up too fast? This channel's content, and you guys are doing great. Thank you, Frazzle. This is unreal. I really appreciate that. Like, already a bit of a legend in the chat here for coming in with that. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for showing love. We'll continue to put out some quality content for everybody here, and these live streams are going to be a ton of fun. I hope you keep tuning in. Precious is the new tank commander. I don't know about that. He's young. Give him some leash here. He'll figure it out. At least he's getting in the paint. He's not afraid to be physical. We'll deal with the rest. Yeah, Precious is definitely not worse than Baines. I don't know who's saying that. And those are two opposite. A guy very much in the twilight of his career, and then a guy just about to blossom. Don't sleep on Precious. Carson Knighton saying call out the score every once in a while. I definitely will. I'm going to try refreshing the scoreboard again right now. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's doing that. That's annoying. Of course, I'm having a ton of technical issues my first time up here. It just kind of figures. I appreciate you guys being patient with it. Man, Precious just had 15 and 15 and a big win against the Celtics. You know, he's great. Let's not magnify these low points too much for a really young player, and we're thin at the center position realistically. Boucher's great, but Boucher, we ideally use him as a power forward. But Precious, and Kem's great hustle too, but Precious is the guy that we hope could become Serge Ibaka. And I think it's possible. Obviously a bit of a different player, but that kind of impact on the game, crazy motor. Paul Blunt, hail Joshy Ice. So I know I got that nickname for a few different reasons, but first off, Paul Blunt, thank you, brother, for the super chat. We appreciate you big time. Always a legend in the chat. Hail Joshy Ice. So that nickname, not only would my camera freeze a ton because it's got to be like hosted through either Ben or Riker's, they use a Zoom link and then it comes through the OBS and all this stuff. It kind of deteriorates the quality and the whole entire ability for the video to buffer. So my video was always freezing. So I got that nickname and I kind of throw out the occasional cold take, right? I'm bold with what I say about basketball. I'm very bold. And you know what? Sometimes it blows up in my face. That's just how it goes. And so, you know, Joshy Ice, I freeze. I got cold takes. That's how it goes. But anybody here right now is definitely Goody Mob. Oh, man. Frazzle with another hammer super chat. Thank you, man. This is unreal treatment from Frazzle. Welcome to the channel, man. We appreciate you big time. When is the Raptors tattoo? When they won, I actually debated getting one. I was going to get like, how do I describe this? I mean, it's kind of a commonly done thing now, but I swear, I was like the first guy to think of this. Like the Larry O'Brien trophy and the ball on top would be like the Raptor claw, like the one we use in our logo. And I've seen it like a few times now. I think Norman Powell even put it in his tattoo. I was debating doing that, but I don't have any ink yet. And I didn't want like a sports one to be my first one because I feel like in life there are a lot of other significant things that happen that you might want to put on your body first. But sentimentally, I wanted to do it. Maybe one day I will once I open the floodgates a bit with a tattoo, but I'm still completely clean. No tattoos yet. Well, I guess clean's a relative term, but everybody's got tattoos. I don't have any ink yet. One day I probably will, and if I ever get a Raptors one, I'll make sure to post it on the channel. So Kitsumi G pointing out Scottie needs to shoot more. He's 3 of 5. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think I really respect Scottie Barnes. He's not getting too far ahead of himself. He's just doing a really good role, trying to facilitate for others. I'm sure he can feel the momentum building in his own like play thus far, but he's good for tempering it with trying to find a role on the team that can be consistent. He's not settling for bad shots, but it will be interesting at some point where Nick Nurse is like, okay, start running things through you a little bit more. Because right now, OG is definitely the man. Fred VanVleet's going to get his shots and really quarterback the offense. And then when Siakam comes back, he's probably truly our top dog. All this considered, it might be a while before Scottie Barnes really gets handed the green light, but I wouldn't hate to see it. Like, that would be the only redeeming quality of this season going a little bit downhill, as they probably look at Scottie and say, do whatever you want. And God forbid, I do not want that. I want a winning season. I want a competitive season, and I want him to start impacting now, which he already has been. But it's going to be a while before he's like our go-to shot getter. He's just going to constantly score in the flow of things and develop that way naturally, which I don't mind. The Raptors make guys earn their stripes. Last night, how about Gary? Gary out there getting a defensive or a big defensive play, steals the ball off of Cole Anthony at the final minute there, forcing him to shoot it from half. Gary's defense, people always act surprised that Gary's like a good defender. And I'm just like, isn't that why we got him? Like, obviously he has a lot of like crazy offensive upside from the perspective of he can shoot it from anywhere. Like he's sweet like that. But I've always loved his energy on the defensive end too. I think that's a big thing that he was appreciated for in Portland. So it's not surprising to me that Gary's out there second in the league right now in steals. I'm pretty sure. Probably won't continue to go that way. And I do wonder what's going to happen with the starting lineup once Siakam comes back. You know what, actually, let me know in the chat. What is going to happen when Siakam comes back to integrate? Does Gary sit down on the bench? I tend to think not. I really don't want to put Scottie Barnes off the bench, but he almost does seem like the most logical to do so. Or maybe you try to play him at, maybe put Precious on the bench. I'm not sure. You guys in the chat, let me know what you think about this, because this is a really hot debate at the moment. You know, I worry we don't get nearly as much out of Gary Trent off the bench. You really need, he's like Norm. You need to green light him, start him, tell him he can shoot a bunch of shots. Like, that's how you get the best out of him. And I mean, you sort of live and die by that strategy. But the one thing I do love about this situation is Gary Trent is young. He's a little bit bigger than Norman Powell. It took Norm a little. I don't think Norman Powell will ever be better than he is right now. And that's no disrespect. I love Norm. Norm's the legend. But Gary Trent will continue to develop, and I already think that he offers a little bit more defensively. So, but that Norm contract is quite nice for the Trailblazers. Frazzle, another super chat. This guy's the GOAT. 100% Precious on the bench. Yeah, once I said it, I kind of knew it. I agree. I think that's how it'll go. I guess you're relatively a little bit undersized at that point. I mean, Precious for Scottie, you're not sacrificing that much length. The only difference is Precious is like a true center versus Scottie, definitely power forward. But you know what? The Raptors, they made a commitment to positionless basketball as it is, and you still have no shortage of length in that starting lineup like that. So I will go ahead and say it's probably Precious as well. I agree with you. Also, it's nice to see, I mean, let's see what he has this game. So VanVleet right now at 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. He is 0 of 3 from the 3-point line, 3 of 7 from the field. You know what? It was great to see Fred have a nice game the other night. I can't remember the exact stat line, but he balled out. He's always been a really good shooter, but people are getting hard on him and his ability to finish in the paint, which is definitely fair. And speaking of people calling me Joshy Ice, I gave out apparently an ice cold take saying that I think Fred VanVleet could lose some weight. I don't know. I don't want to say lose some weight. I mean, he's a point guard, right? He's already undersized. He's got to be speedy and agile. We saw Lowry do it and then become an all-NBA player. Like, remember how fit Lowry was for the 2016 season? I just thought that Fred was struggling a little bit to contort in the paint and find open shots. And he doesn't back people down. It's not like he needs to be like 5'11", 200 pounds. I just think that, you know, it'd help his agility a bit, but this is still just an icy cold take. Like, I know no one's agreeing with me, but whatever. Fred's a baller. I'm just saying I love to see him have some good performances recently because the leadership is really like his biggest strength anyways. He reminds me so much of Kyle in that sense. He goes out there and does everything for you and really is the heartbeat of this team. I just like to bring up my cold takes because you got to laugh at yourself in this, you know? Not everyone agreed with me. I do think it could benefit him, but Fred is a baller nonetheless, and it's good to see him figuring it out for the Raptors. At least, I think he is right now. Takes a lot of flack, though. Have we ever had a Rookie of the Year in the past on the Raptors? I think, was Damon Stoudemire? I want to say he was. I want to say Damon Stoudemire was. Or I also think Vince Carter might have been. Now I'm all over the place, but I think at least one of those guys was. I could be incorrect. Someone definitely fact check me here in the chat. But yeah, that's I'm pretty sure we have. So Kyle H coming in here with what looks to be a pretty hot take saying, I need to say this though. I almost want to even bench Fred just to help get our starting lineup more height. 6-foot point guards are less and less common starters now. Yeah, that is true. But you know what? The Raptors, I feel like the success of Kyle Lowry has really done a ton to give justice to the idea that you can have an undersized point guard who plays that very specific traditional point guard role and it can still win you championships or get you to the finals like Chris Paul and the Suns. When the Raptors won, I feel like that validated it to Masai and Bobby that, well, I mean, Fred was balling out of his mind that whole finals too and the conference finals. I think they can accept Fred being still the starting point guard of this team long term. And I don't know who I would start at point guard in front of him. Like maybe in some weird world we have Scottie actually assume the point guard position like he claims to be in his Instagram bio. I don't think that'll happen. I think Fred VanVleet's here for the long run as our starter, but I get what you're saying. There is some merit to bigger lineups out there, but to start the game and to get the tone right, I think you want Fred VanVleet out there quarterbacking it. Okay, so we have confirmation, yeah. Mighty Mouse being Damon Stoudemire and Vince Carter were both rookies of the year. That's Frazzle confirming it. Shahayar, I've definitely mispronounced that. My bad. Also confirming it. A lot of people coming into the chat. Now we got about 100 people watching at the moment. I got to thank you guys again. This is really like my first foot into the door here with the live stream. So everyone here, it's super early and I appreciate you tuning in, supporting me, doing everything you guys have done. I love this channel and I want to only boost the whole entire production of it. So thanks again. We're going to be doing these for a while. And for anyone who bets out there, tweet at us in the morning. Let us know what kind of lines you're putting down for gambling. I love to throw money on the Raptors. I tend to feel like I know the team pretty well, so that's like my best chance at winning money in sports gambling. I do like to throw it around on football Sundays a little bit, but overall, the NBA is my ish, and so are the Raptors. Let me know what you guys think for betting lines. I'll be dropping TikToks in the mornings, sort of previewing what I'm thinking for bets, the matchup that night, all of that stuff. So stay in tune, guys. Stay in tune. And we're coming back here for the second half of the game. Raptors are down by 1. We're shooting pretty much exact same from field goal percentage. We're at 43.8, and they're at 43.2. We're out rebounding them. Assists are pretty close, and they've turned over the ball more times. So the disparity here is not big. I hope the Raptors can get their feet under them here in the second half and go 2-0 versus the Pacers so far this season, leaving us at a 4-3 record. That would be nice. I was really worried when we started at 1-3, but clearly we're figuring it out. Mike James bringing up the VanVleet 50-point game. I think he ended up with a total of 54, being like our number one record for that. Yeah, man, do not sleep on Fred VanVleet. It was kind of one of those weird games where I think you get so much success early that people just keep feeding you the ball. I think we blew out the opposing team. I could be wrong about that, but I'm not trying to downgrade the whole entire view here of his 50-point game. He balled out, and Fred VanVleet is a legitimate scorer. I just find that to get to his spots more routinely in games where it's very close, you're going to need to make sure that he can score in the paint. And that's something that he has struggled with, but people can't sleep on Fred, man. He is a legitimate pro, and he will always figure it out. I have faith. Do not forget about the NBA Finals either. That was the most impressive thing I've ever seen Fred do, period. People pointing out that people in the chat right now pointing out that Toronto does not get a lot of love from the media. That is just so true. Even our former coach, Sam Mitchell, it was the year after Kawhi left. He put us out of the playoffs. This is a guy who's very much, and when I say put us out of the playoffs, during his projections, he left the Raptors out of the playoff picture in the East, where they went and got 59 wins instead of the 58 they had during their championship season. I could not believe that Sam Mitchell said that. I was like, this organization. The players, the team. To think Kawhi and Danny are going to send us from winning a championship to essentially nothing, drastic. You still had Kyle Lowry, you still had Serge Ibaka, OG Anunoby, Siakam. To me, it made no sense. But yeah, that just is a testament right there to how much we're slept on. 3-ball by Anunoby. Speak of the devil. We are now up by 2. Sabonis getting fouled there by Precious. ACAT bringing up right now LeVert. Carlisle not putting in LeVert. We might win. Yeah, man, LeVert was a big difference maker there early as the game opened up. I mean, so skilled. I know even when he was injured, there was a lot of trade talk about him because, he did get dealt when he was injured, I believe, but he's always had a ton of high regard from the league, and I think Karis LeVert's a great player for this Indiana Pacers team. When Malcolm Brogdon comes back, I think they're kind of dangerous offensively, and Sabonis just stuffs the stat sheet. In my opinion, if Ben Simmons ever plays again for the Sixers, they need to utilize him. I mean, you need a point guard at the end of the day to let this work, but they need to utilize him like a Sabonis. I think that if Ben Simmons tried to play like Sabonis, you would see a lot better results than trying to put like a traditional point guard role onto Ben. Let's see what's going on here. Sabonis with the ball. Oh, Scottie with the steal. Let's go. And he gets fouled. That's another rule change that they're talking about. I heard the commentators mention it the other night. The fast break fouls. They want to make the viewership in the NBA as good as possible. It's one of the reasons they took out that rule about drawing the three-pointer fouls. That's supposedly ended Trae Young's career. It's definitely a learning adjustment for a lot of these players. But another rule that they're talking about fixing is these fouls and fast break, because fast break is what people want to watch. And if they take out that gimme foul that you can lay at like mid-court so they don't go and get an odd man situation, if they take that out, I think the Raptors are going to get a huge boost. They are a fast break team. And yeah, I mean, fast break's awesome to watch. It's where you get some of your best highlights. Sabonis misses a gimme and Scottie with the board. Scottie going coast to coast. Takes the shot. Oh! Got met at the rim by Turner. Still a great sequence by Scottie, but Turner is a legit rim protector. Frazzle with a super chat. Sorry, I'm just seeing this in the chat. Smash the like for Josh. Thank you, Frazzle, man. You have been showing out this with the super chats right now. I so wish I had the animation for you guys, but nonetheless, man, this is greatly appreciated. Thank you. And for anyone in here, drop a like. We'll do a like spike. I will have all these animations soon. We got 88 watching. Every single one of you guys are appreciated. Thank you. And Gary Trent missing it. That's all right, Gary. Wonder if we're going to see Malachi Flynn again at some point in the game. I've been just looking at the chat so much that I haven't noticed for sure if he's scored or not. I want to say he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't. He hasn't shot the ball yet. Banton obviously still with just 2 points. I have a bet on him tonight. Hoping that works out. He's only played 5 minutes, so we'll probably see him again at some point. I wonder if we'll ever see Goran Dragic again. Definitely we will, because even if we want to trade him, we got to boost up that value somehow. But right now, I'm happy that Nick Nurse is rolling with the group that's been successful as of late, and Indiana is a team that you're going to need to beat if you want to be relatively in the playoff picture this season. The East is a lot better. Goody Mob in the building. Oh, Marcel Martin, I missed your super chat. Oh my God. Marcel Martin, I'm so sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Do you think it's crazy how during Lowry's prime years, as well as the Raptors, gained zero respect from the league, but once he joined Miami, not even playing like he did in his prime, everyone is going crazy over him. Marcel Martin, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I did not see this. Big time appreciate you. And I'm going to answer this right now because this is always like, it's so frustrating. Players come out of Toronto and go to other places, and it just puts the league on notice because, let's be honest, more people, at least that are connected with basketball media, they tend to watch teams like Miami, like Golden State, like the Lakers. Like, these are the traditional hubs of basketball. The Knicks, the Nets. It's just so annoying that when we have guys out here balling out, we don't get the same credit. And Kyle Lowry has one of those games that if you just check the box score every night, you're not going to quite understand the value, right? But if you watch him play, and not a lot of people watch Raptors games outside of Canada, then you're going to understand that this guy is going to take you from a great team to a legitimate bona fide contender. We saw what he did in the closeout game. That looked good on the stat sheet, but what he does absolutely day in, day out is tough to just quantify. Kyle Lowry is just, he's got winning in his veins, and now that Miami gets him, I think it's just, it plays into that Heat culture narrative, right? He's perfect for that team. But I always say, Fred VanVleet, big three. I always say Heat culture, it's like, why is that a thing when your best years came from essentially like free agency signings? I know you drafted D Wade, but like Chris Bosh and then LeBron James, they come in and win a championship, Ray Allen. Like, to me, I feel like a team like the Raptors deserves to, Raptor culture should be the thing. Of course, I have that bias, but man, we draft people that come into All-Stars that need to play in the G League, that grind it out, put defense first. Marcel Martin, you got me on a whole rant right now, but thank you for your super chat. I couldn't agree more. I do find it ridiculous, but I'm just used to it right now. This is typical for the treatment we get here in Canada. Brandon B asking if I play basketball myself. I actually do. And I feel like you would look at me and be like, I don't know how good I am at it, right? I mean, like I'm 23. I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'10". But I got game. That's another thing. When I came into this, I was like, okay, I can't sit here and talk about basketball all day and watch basketball all day and have like no sort of skills. You know, Phil here from the Leafs Digest might try to brainwash you and say I don't have game or like my jumper's broken or something, but he's just salty, you know. He's salty. I got game. We'll post a video at some point doing a 2-on-2. I'll probably be on Phil's team, so I got to be careful what I say about my teammate right now. We're going to face Ben and Riker. We'll film it and put it on YouTube. That should hopefully be coming sooner than later because Ben, Riker's already out in Ontario, but Ben's coming out really soon in November. So we're hoping to do some fun stuff when they're out here, and that's definitely one of them. Raptors back down by 3 at the moment. Kyle H saying he has a fondness in his heart for the old Grizzlies. I still love the Grizzlies now, actually. I mean, the old like grit grindhouse Grizzlies were something special, but even now, I love that team. Scottie Barnes using the glass like a pro. Pretty sure he just backed down Sabonis too, who's quite a good defender. That's hype. That's hype. Raptors down by 1 right now. We have 6:27 left in the third quarter. Sabonis pump fakes. Fred VanVleet gets in there. Oh, Holiday jacks it up and hits it. That's not what you like to see. But Fred getting active with his hands on defense. What's new? Got around 90 viewers in the chat right now. Thank you all. Fred VanVleet working it from the mid-range. Something, I know it's a 3-and-D kind of league now where that's like, you know, the majority of highlights, what gets appreciated most, but the mid-range game is something that is timeless. I love it. And Fred VanVleet, another smart defensive play, smacks out of Turner's hand, bounces off him, out of bounds, Raptors ball. That's just the kind of winning plays that you need. And that won't even show up necessarily on the stat sheet. I think it's a deflection of sorts, but still, Fred VanVleet getting active with his hands on defense. I think he almost led the league last year in steals, which, I mean, Fred doesn't even get any sort of attention for an old NBA defensive team, and I get it's because of height partially too, but him and Lowry almost like never get scored on in the post. They're solid, but Maddie Muru saying thinks Scottie gets his assist average up. I definitely do. I'm already a bit shocked that Scott Barnes hasn't. Feels weird calling him Scott. Scottie Barnes hasn't had better assist numbers thus far. But I'm not even worried about it a little bit. I think it'll come. I'm more like, I already know he's a good passer. Did I know he was a good mid-range shooter and like serviceable from 3? I hoped so. I thought eventually. But I didn't know that was like the case right now. So I'm almost more pleased with this like turning of events where it's like we expected him to just play defense and play make a lot and score in like broken plays to actually being like an option to go to and use. I'm okay with this plot twist. This is awesome. His assist numbers will come up, especially as teams start to learn that he can score. You know, the word is already out on Scottie Barnes, but once teams start giving him better defensive attention, I think that's when the playmaking will really start to come through. He gets a ton of hockey assists, which for anyone who's not familiar with the term, it's like the secondary assist where you pass to the passer. And a lot of those are just as worthy of, you know, a nod on the score sheet, but for obvious reasons don't get it. Scottie Barnes has had his hands all over the offense so far. Thunderbird saying, good to see Boucher getting a lot of rebounds out there. It is. How many does Boucher have? So he's at 5 rebounds right now in 12 minutes. That's solid. It's leading our team right now. Yeah, that is nice. I mean, Boucher is an extremely solid player, and he's got unshakable confidence. So he's another guy who's had a weird start to the season, but not to worry. Chris Boucher, I think, is at this point, you can probably call him an NBA veteran for sure, even though, he seemed young recently, but even when we were kind of conceptualizing him as like a prospect. He was like 26 years old. He's pretty polished. I think he'll be fine. Raptors down by 2. 5:49 left in the third quarter here. We're still hovering around 85 to a little bit more viewers at the moment. Thank you guys again. I got to apologize again to Marcel. I don't know if Marcel's still watching, but I cannot believe I did not see that super chat. Rookie live streaming mistake. Shout out Marcel Martin and everyone else here watching. Fred misses a shot. OG from 3. Money. I love to see that development from OG. I'm still hard on OG. I'm a big OG fan, but like, I don't even want to be this guy. I don't want to be this guy. I still worry a little bit about like him just consistently being a really good offensive player. I think he's got the skill set now, which is great, but I think he still has some fine tuning and experience to get through. But why am I bagging on the guy? He just hit a 3. Let's celebrate that. OG Anunoby's pretty hot right now. He's got what in the match? Oh, I thought he was hotter. He started off nice with that spin dunk. He's got 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He's shooting 50% from the field goal, or 50% field goal, and then 2 of 5 from 3-point range. I can't speak right now. I'm just in an absolute blender trying to describe how I feel about OG. It's always a hot, cold feeling, but overall, at the end of the day, I am happy he's on our team, and his development's remarkable. I gotta give credit when due. Marcel Martin asking, are we getting Leafs Digest merch? Hopefully at some point. We're still working that these ideas out. It's definitely been mentioned. We've talked about it a bit, but that's something it won't be here in like, next month kind of soon, but after that point, OG again from 3. Never mind. I was right. He is hot right now. That's huge. Raptors now up by 3 points, 61-58. Leafs Digest merch will be coming soon. We're putting some really good thought and effort into this, so we want to do it right. But I'll keep you guys posted on when that's available. And we just hit 1,000 subscribers. So again, thanks to anyone who helped make that happen. A boss asking, hey Josh, where is Ben? I don't know where Ben is right now. Probably watching the game. He's definitely going to be, I think he's doing a post game with Riker. But you know what? This is just kind of, whenever he has an opportunity to, I think Ben and Riker both will sit in on here and do the live stream with me. But, for the most part, this is supposed to be kind of like my thing now where I hand off the game and you guys all to the post game where then they break it down and explain what they saw. And I'm just here to, ramble while we watch the game together and lose my money apparently because it doesn't look like I'm going to hit this bet. But good fun nonetheless. T-Bird Brad throwing out a go Oilers. Not an Oilers fan, but go McDavid. He is from Newmarket, where I'm from. Country Kong saying OG taking over. You love to see it. That's what I want to see from OG. He's looking legit. I just want to see him do it consistently and concisively. I don't know if concisively is a word. Not sure. By the way, you guys get what I'm saying. No OG slander intended. Oh, Banton just missing a shot. That would have been nice for my bets. What's Scottie Barnes at the moment? Okay, he's got 10 points, 6 rebounds, and I believe 1 assist. Scottie's staying solid. What do you guys think? Marcel Martin with the goodie mob again. Appreciate you, my man. What do you guys think the best Scottie Barnes comparable is? Because I've heard so many, and many people say it confidently. They say it with their chest. They're saying Scottie Barnes is the new Scottie Pippen. They're saying Scottie Barnes is, and I feel like that one kind of obviously comes from the first name situation, but I do see some similarities. Then the Giannis one, all of a sudden, I know that to say he's going to be the next Giannis is kind of far-fetched, but stylistically, I think similar. And then the third one that we heard very early was Draymond Green. So these are three comparables that I keep routinely hearing. Everyone seems to be all over the place about his player comparable. At the end of the day, he's just going to be the next Scottie Barnes. But what do you guys think? What's like the closest comparable you guys could potentially give? Any recent news on Siakam? Okay, I don't really have any news. I'm sure, like most of you, I followed that that process there where he got assigned to the G League, and then like 6 hours later recalled. I don't know what kind of formality or technicality they were trying to adhere to there, but hilarious optics. Like, what was that? That I had no clue what was going on there. But in terms of Siakam updates that like I know of outside of that, not entirely sure. I think he's probably going to be back in. I'm hoping like late November. I don't know if that's ambitious or not, but he should be back this month, I think. But if anyone knows what happened with the G League there and why that had to transpire, let me know, because I'm with everyone else just here confused about it. Cade and Suggs, this is a fan fiction Pop-Tart saying this. Cade and Suggs are both icy cold today. I'm gonna assume that's not like icy in this like a good way. Like are they not doing well right now? I haven't checked the scoreboard. So T-Bird Brad saying traditionally they send guys to the 905 for game conditioning. Yeah, that's definitely true. Definitely true. I'm just wondering why it was for 6 hours. Like I don't know if he wanted to work out with the team and then they had to do the move to like clear him to be on the court. I don't know. It just looked hilarious. I'm sure there was a genuine reason behind it. So Mike James, for the Scottie Pippen comparable, I believe, is saying the closest is a 50-50 mix between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. If you combine them into one player, that's who you would get. Now that's like, I need to kind of digest that one. That's the two top Philadelphia players there. If they just had a baby, it'd be Scottie Barnes. That's an interesting take. I don't know if I fully see it. I can see some Ben Simmons in his game for sure, and obviously the way he's operating in the paint, you could say is efficient like Joel Embiid. But you know what? That's I did not think of that one. If you guys agree, throw that in the chat. That is a very interesting comparison. Kyle H saying Ben Simmons with a positive attitude. I like that. That's true. And part of that positive attitude is being willing to shoot threes and not, I guess I can't. Everyone's human, right? Of course, he's going to feel upset and embarrassed for some of these performances, but you got to have a positive attitude, an optimistic attitude. And Scottie Barnes seems to be a little bit more intact in that department than Ben Simmons is at the moment. Ben Simmons is committing to he's doing the James Harden thing where you dress up in the fat suit trying to get traded, but even worse, honestly. And at least James Harden tried for a little bit longer in Houston than we've seen from Ben Simmons in Philadelphia. 61-61 right now. Toronto and Indiana are tied up. Indiana's got the ball. Let's see what happens. Lamb jacks it up, and that's an air ball, I believe. Remember when Jeremy Lamb jacked up that half-court shot, which beat us at the last second during the Kawhi season, so 2019. I don't know why, it's a regular season game, but that will forever stand out as like a crushing moment for me. I couldn't believe that. I think we fought back late to get the lead in that game, and just have it like stripped away by Jeremy Lamb at half court, and just a fluke bucket. It was, that was aggravating, and we wanted every win that season for seeding. Boucher misses. We get the offensive rebound. Birch in the paint, and one. Let's go. That's a nice bucket. That's what Birch, he's got to be active off ball. That's how he's going to get his buckets. And one. Let's see if he can hit the free throw. Toronto's up. Just reading. I'm catching up with the chat here. I've been bad about keeping up with the chat. I go off on tangents, then I'm watching the game. And, that's how you end up missing super chats and looking like a terrible guy. But you know what? Everyone here is appreciated. Thank you. We're almost at 100 viewers right now. So shouts out to everybody here. Much appreciated. And then 1-800-Lunatic saying Birch is so much better than Precious. At certain things, I guess, but not overall. I can't agree with that. OG Anunoby with a big rebound here. I think Precious will be the better player, but no disrespect to Birch. He is genuinely better at certain things, including, like I would say, the physical. It's tough. Precious is pretty solid. He's looking down at the moment. Indiana hits a 3. It's tied 64. Jeremy Lamb back to ruin my dreams. Country Kong bringing back up saying Precious has to come off the bench. I think that's pretty consensus in terms of what we are thinking at the moment. I had a bit of a mini debate earlier on it, but I'm fairly certain too that's how it's going to go down, and we'll just play that positionless basketball that we've clearly geared up for. (1-800-Lunatic) saying Precious has the offensive game of Gillespie. You're giving me PTSD, man. Oh, Gillespie I feel so bad because he's a great culture piece on the team, right? Like, he's a workhorse. He fits the narrative of our group so well, right? Like, just a genuinely good person. Defensively works hard. Offensively works hard, but you're right. Just the touch was so bad around the basket. Kind of similar thing drove me crazy about Marc Gasol, but obviously Marc Gasol is like 10 times the player, even at 36, that unfortunately Freddie Gillespie is. But we cannot be comparing a guy like Precious Achiuwa, who went to Montverde Academy, who, was a first-round pick, is only 20 years old, and just was balling out all summer, to Freddie Gillespie. That's out of pocket, man. Precious is definitely going to show out and probably eventually be our long-term starter, in my opinion. But Mike James, appreciate you showing love in the chat, man. Really appreciate that. Frazzle, 4-3 for the Leafs on the PK at the moment, though. You know what? I got to be honest. I love the Leafs. Do I trust the Leafs? Not at all. Not even like a little bit. And I'm not saying that to be Mr. Negative, but if you guys are a Leafs fan, you know what I mean. I'm rooting for them. I hope they win this, but I'm not sitting here thinking that they'll necessarily hold on to it. This might be a juicy post game, so make sure you tune into that on Leafs Digest. Prayers up for the Leafs. Let's see if they can pull it off here. I'm seeing... when I was ranting about the Leafs, I think I missed a Boucher bucket. Raptors up by 1. Let me look at the point totals here so far. So Boucher right now is at 8 points. He's 2 of 5 from the 3 points. Already hit that bet, which is really nice to see. I think Delano might screw me here, but that's okay. He's played 9 minutes now. Still hasn't scored since his first bucket, but we already know Delano's Mr. Closeout. He's been getting some fourth quarter minutes. Let's see if he can make the most of that and get me some buckets. I thought it was a really gutsy bet, but Ben talked me into it. Back to Ben being so persuasive. I make bad fantasy trades when I talk to Ben. I make bad bets when I talk to Ben. The man's too persuasive. Kyle H asking, if he gets more consistent stats, would you run Banton at the 6th man or try to find him a starting spot? I think Banton's one of those guys that until he really just has an outburst and shows crazy consistency, I don't think you want to squeeze him into your starting lineup. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but just considering relative to the other guys on the team, there's definitely some mouths to feed before Delano Banton in terms of getting playing time and getting shots. Banton does a ton great. I know he's been hot recently, but I genuinely, and I'm not saying this just because of my bet, I genuinely do think he needs to develop more as a primary scorer just to get the respect needed to play make and play the point guard position. But he's on that path. He's definitely on that path. A starter anytime soon? I don't think so. But a guy who comes in and plays 6-man kind of minutes? I hope so. And that's definitely possible. Logan saying the Pacers announcers are roasting Boucher's shot. That doesn't surprise me. It's like the catapult. He loads that thing. It's You got to respect Chris Boucher's confidence. He doesn't care how he looks. He doesn't care if he's like 0 of 5. He's just going to heave it. And that's kind of the mindset that great shooters need to have. Boucher does look ridiculous. I get why if you're not, frequently watching the Raptors, he kind of flies under the radar, and then you see him shoot, and you're just like, what's going on? But he's legit. They'll learn. They're gonna learn soon enough. I mean, he's splashing on him right now. Alex Lee asking if I was the guy who did the Jokic trade. That wasn't me. That was not me. Ben's fleecing this whole league right now, though. And there was just a trade that went down before this. I think it was with Marcel. I don't know, Marcel, if it was you, just say something in the chat here. But watch out for Ben. Watch out for Ben. He's persuasive. The man's running a front office here in fantasy. Frazzle, thank you for subbing to Leafs Digest. We appreciate that, my guy. Road to 2K officially. Sabonis with a bucket. Raptors are only up 1 currently, and we are at 11:17 left in the fourth quarter. Delano Banton hands it off to Scottie, passing it around the top. Svi, let's see what you got, Svg. Oh, what a pass. Unfortunately, Birch gets the ball slapped away from him, but I thought that could have been a foul. Probably wasn't, though. Marcel, don't worry. He got me on a trade the other day. He got me on a trade too. I think I traded... Scottie Barnes just missing a little floater there. He's usually got those, but of course he'll miss the occasional. He got me on one. So Ben, I traded him Chris Boucher and Kyle Kuzma for Terry Rozier and Dwight Powell, the center on the Mavericks. I do think I probably got the best fantasy player in Rozier back, and I think the Hornets are going to be good. Did I lose that trade? I think so, especially because I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be really good. Svg Water bangs the 3. But you know what? You live and learn. I'm definitely holding on to my pieces now. Let me know what you guys think of that trade there in the chat. Terry Rozier is still injured as well. Scottie Barnes with the ball. Ooh. Okay, he got fouled. I thought so. I thought he hit his hand. Yeah, Sabonis just fouled Scottie. We're going to the line, and we're currently up by 4 points. Delano on the court. Birch out there. Fred, Mikhailuk. Svi is just... I know Svi will have his off nights where it just looks, really bad because, your value in this league is gauged off of shots made and shots missed, and when a shooter's off, it looks terrible. But Svi Mikhailuk is such an under-the-radar pickup. The Raptors always are getting those, so big ups to Svg. Dark MVP saying we need Gary Trent Jr. I haven't seen him out there in a little bit either. I'm sure he'll be out there to close out the game after what he did last night. So Kyle H., what were your thoughts on Suns not giving Ayton a max after their finals run? That's a tough one because, in principle, I agree. I don't think he's a max contract player. And honestly, Chris Paul got DeAndre Jordan on first team All-NBA. If that doesn't tell you the impact of Chris Paul on your team, Scottie from 3 misses it, but Birch with the rebound. I'll finish that point in 1 second. The reverse doesn't go. Svi got fouled. But my point here is Chris Paul can make a center look really good. And we already know that his stats jumped way up with Chris Paul there. And you could maybe argue that when him and Chris Paul were clicking just like that, maybe he's a max contract player. Even then, it's a little bit of a tough sell. You could probably sell it at that point, but we already know Chris Paul's not going to be here forever. He's a little bit older. He's not going to be able to play like that forever. And without him there, we didn't... DeAndre Ayton's been solid, but he hasn't looked like that. And market value probably is a max contract for him, unfortunately. But I do kind of side with the Suns where I'm like, I don't really think he's worth it. We'll see what direction they go. The Suns actually have a lot of young, really talented players. So 1-800-LUNATIC pointing out that they've taken 16 free throws to our 4. Is that accurate? If that is, that's crazy lopsided. So 1-800-LUNATIC saying Ayton actually had better stats the year before CP3 with Rubio. That might have been, yeah, okay, so I'm not sure. I need to fact check that for sure, but I think that they're in the conference finals, like throughout that playoff run. I believe like that was probably obviously the biggest stage he's ever done it on, but I'm pretty sure that was like the peak of his statistical efficiency. Like I want to say for sure, but I could be wrong on that one. Check it up, but it's no mystery. I mean, he was talking about how Chris Duarte hitting a 3, Montreal's finest. But it's been a narrative in the media that, DeAndre Ayton got a massive boost from Chris Paul, and he admitted it himself. And I just don't think that DeAndre Ayton's going to be like, he's not like Joel Embiid, right? He can't just go make up the offense on his own every night. And I don't think he's necessarily worth a max, but I do think it's his market value. That's just how the NBA works these days. We'll see how that situation develops with the Suns. All right, we're up by 4 right now with roughly about 8 minutes left here in the fourth. I like Svi gets into people on defense too. He kind of torched the Raptors when he didn't play for us. Chris Duarte misses a 3, Raptor ball going that away. Kyle H coming to the defense again of Ayton, pointing out, he's in his early 20s. Was able to put up some clutch moments. The nice lob that he finished that I think saved the game. Yeah, he had some clutch plays for sure. I'm saying that, Chris Paul inflated DeAndre Ayton to a first-team All-NBA player. I'm not saying Ayton isn't really that dude, but when you throw around max contract money without like being 100% certain, it can blow up in your face pretty bad. So. Oh, is that Chris Duarte again? I think it was. This kid's insane. Oh my God. He's a dead-eye shooter. That is Banton from 3. Oh, man. Like, I'm not really like, a professional basketball player myself, but I do think Banton needs a little bit more arc on that 3-point shot. Hopefully he can figure that out. Obviously, it's harder to shoot at that size from the 3-point line, but he's shown glimpses of it. He's already hit a couple threes this season. Actually, more than a couple of them from half court. That is crazy. His first sequence out there as a Raptor goes and hits a shot from half. So Marcel Martin asking if I watch anime. I do not watch anime, but I watched that one show on Netflix, Hunter x Hunter, and it was good. I liked that. In the regular season, Ayton averaged 4 more points and 1 more board before CP3. Yeah, I think I'm mainly focusing on the playoffs in terms of gauging Ayton's, Scottie Barnes. Let's bang in his chest. You gotta love the energy this kid brings. That's big, man. The Raptors lacked in rebounding last year. Scottie Barnes is coming in and already making a huge difference in that department. Same with Precious. Credits to Precious. Mike James saying Duarte is an example of the value of being in college for 4 years. I know he went to Oregon, which takes a ton of Canadians like Chris Boucher, like Dylan Brooks. So Canadian connection to Oregon there. I actually didn't know he was a 4-year player. But you know what? That makes sense. He looks polished. Like, really, really polished. I'm blown away by Chris Duarte. I think that if the Raptors I got to check where he got drafted. I think it was in the first round for sure. But if the Raptors weren't selecting that early, I mean, their scouting's that good, and drafting a Canadian like Duarte would definitely be on their radar. So who knows? I feel like that could have been a Raptors pick had we been a little bit farther back in the draft. It was a really deep draft. I'd be curious to know if I could see the Raptors depth chart of how they would have drafted at every spot. I'd be so curious because it's no mystery. I genuinely think that they've been the best team at drafting thus far. And I'm just noticing my computer, it's at 10%. I'm going to plug this in real quick. Sorry for this brief disturbance here. These are just rookie mistakes on rookie mistakes. It's tight quarters out here. Oh my god, how do I get a charger into this thing? This is brutal. I've got all my ports taken up at the moment, but hold on. This is just like the ultimate Okay, are we back now? I think we're back. Okay, I think we're good now. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Sorry about that. I just had to make sure my computer didn't just crash on me middle of the stream here. There's like 100 viewers in here, and I'm walking around finding chargers, playing with my mic by accident, but we're good. We're rolling. My computer will not cut out, thankfully, and the Raptors at the moment, I got to refresh the scoreboard. I believe we're still up, so we good. All right, sweet. Thank you again to everyone in here watching. Much appreciated. We've got to hope that the Raptors pull this one out. McConnell, pesky. Just pesky. He had a crazy steals game. I can't remember. He had like 8 steals or something. Or was it? Did he get a triple-double with steals? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't think he got that many, but it was a ridiculous amount that he was averaging at one point last season. Five-three Leafs, according to Frazzle. That's good stuff. That's good to hear. You love to see that. Raptors currently up by 3. I gotta hear Matt. Everyone's talking about Matt Devlin's voice right now. I've got it on a very low volume. I gotta hear it. And look, Matt Devlin, Jack Armstrong, Leo Routens, Rod Black, they are legends. Legends. But one thing I gotta say about Matt Devlin is when someone does a hype play and he's like, his name is... Like, I don't know why. Matt Devlin, to me, just has such, like, a warm, friendly voice. So when he tries to, like, really yell and be intimidating and fired up, it just sounds funny to me. I don't know. Sometimes, like, I laugh in the middle of these big moments because of how he sounds. But legends, OG from 3, bangs it. What are we at? 82-76 now. This is what you need from OG. Big fourth quarter points. Holiday misses. Scottie Barnes with the rebound. There we go. Gary out there. Oh! Ooh. I respect Gary for trying to dunk that, but Turner just slapped that garbage out of here. Wow. Whew. I like Scottie going for the dunk there. Tried to race him to the rim. And obviously we already know Miles Turner is a great rim protector, so that'll happen. Ooh, the blocks right now. The Pacers have 11 and the Raptors have 3, so it's not what you like to see, but we still have the lead, and that's something. Foul there on Indiana. Just Bray saying he can be kind of corny sometimes, but I'm here for it. Retweet completely. Yeah, I mean, anybody who needs to be on air for that long, all the time, definitely. They need to juice it up somehow. I respect Matt Devlin, everybody on that show, complete goats, but just pointing out that makes me laugh whenever OG misses the 3. Indiana comes back down on offense. McConnell with the ball. Oh, Turner. Man. This dude's torching us. People saying they would trade for Turner in the chat. I think Turner's one of those guys that for a long time the Raptors have tried to check in on and see if they can get a deal done. But, oh, Gary, that's the mid-range. That is the mid-range. Go get me a shot. does it in the mid-range. That's why you need guys who can shoot that shot. Because when it comes down to the final moments of a game, you don't want to bank on a three. You got to go for something decisive. And if you can hit from the mid-range, then I like your chances. Kawhi Leonard showed us all that. Oh my God, thank God Turner just missed. That was the ultimate heat check right there. But I like Miles Turner as well. Really solid player. Scottie Barnes backing down. Gary Trent with the ball now. Jacks up the three. Gary's sending these teams home, man. He did it last night. Tonight with another big bucket. Just playing great right now. Sorry, just inhaled the wrong way. I feel like Matt Devlin right now. But Gary just gets swatted, basically cleaned off the glass by Miles Turner. Comes back with 2 massive buckets. I love this. He's not getting stirred. He's not getting afraid, not getting timid. It's what we need. That's what we need. And it makes me feel better about that Norman Powell trade, because after Norm signed that big contract extension, I was worried. I was like, please, Gary, please pan out. Please pan out. And, he's looked great. He's looked great. His motor's insane. Anyone here, so Frazzle asking, anyone here go to Game 7 versus the Sixers? If you did, tell me in the chat that firsthand experience, because that's like one of the most legendary sports moments I can recall in my whole life. (1-800-LUNATIC) right now. This is a funny timing to make the comment. I mean, I respect your opinion, but Gary Def shouldn't be removed from... okay, sorry. I misread that. I thought you said Gary should be removed from the starting lineup when Siakam's back. I would not understand that, but yeah, no. Gary Trent needs to stay in the starting lineup. You get so much more out of him as a starter, and he's one of those guys that thrives off confidence. He's a shooter. I think you got to give him that opportunity. You trade a great player for him. I don't think they had the intention of trading Norman Powell just to bring Gary Trent Jr. off the bench like they were doing with Norm. I think we're righting the wrongs here, because a lot of times Norm, I think, should have had more leash with the team. But hey, he was playing great. I think we sold him at the best he'll ever play. No disrespect to Norm. And we got back a great younger player in Gary. And what a crazy storyline too, eh? Like, what was it? Like 61 games or something like that. 61 games, or it's probably less than that. Like 51 maybe, into his second season or third season. I'm butchering the stats here. But him and his dad got traded at the exact same time from Portland to Toronto. I know you guys already are definitely aware of this, but still just crazy to me. And I definitely think that adds a bit of a mission to what he's doing here in the with the Raptors, because, that's a pretty sentimental vibe. He put on his dad's number after that. I love the storyline of it as well. Frazzle saying he was there. I can't even imagine the energy. At first I was like, I couldn't process what happened. Like, it looked like a miss, right? I think everyone was like, oh, it's going to overtime. And then it bounces around a little bit and goes through. And then there was that brief moment where before everyone just blew up. And I just remember I didn't even stand up yet. I was like, what just happened? And then it hit in, and I was going crazy. But just wild game. It was the first ever Game 7 game-winning shot there, or buzzer beater, I should say. Kawhi Leonard, man, forever royalty in the city, even though he kind of dipped out on us. Turner, what is going on? Like, I know he's good, but he shouldn't be hitting threes like this on us in the clutch. Up by 3 points right now, 87-84 for the Raptors. About 3 minutes left. Raptor ball, Gary Trent, just pure hustle. Same with OG there. Jet for Sale saying he was also at Game 7. I'm jealous. That was one of the most historic sports moments in Toronto history. Probably just in sports history too. We already talked, it was an NBA record. So, and the fact that they went on to win the championship that year really just juices the whole storyline of it. red line saying just tuned in. Is Flynn playing? Not at the moment, but surprisingly, he actually did get in earlier this game. I think he only played 2 minutes. No points. Didn't shoot the ball. It's tough. Nick Nurse has got a short leash on Malachi Flynn. Definitely. Oh, Gary didn't get fouled there? Really? Oh, but Birch there to clean it up. The refs just put the whistles away completely. What the? Whatever though. Birch stamps it for us. Oh, that. Thank God he missed. I appreciate it. Duarte just shot that. It looked money. Rims out. Raptors still up right now by 5 points. Let's go. Under 2 minutes here. Let's close this out. What another good defensive effort for the Raptors. Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon. Either way, they've held them to below 90 so far this late in the game. Fred from deep. Let's go. That is NBA Finals Fred VanVleet right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie V, ice in his veins. That was a play. Got the Fred jersey behind me right here. That's for a reason. And I got the finals patch on it because that is the best version of Fred I've ever seen. So High Ground Gaming saying the fact that this team is playing so well on a back-to-back is cool. Definitely is. Definitely. I mean, oh my God, I'm losing my voice right now too. Yeah, this is a great sign from the team. I mean, we're young, right? So on back-to-backs, I would hope that we get up a bit more than the average NBA team would. Like a Lakers back-to-back, probably physically a lot more ugly than the Raptors should be playing. But nonetheless, great to see. People in the chat saying Frederico. Yes, sir. He is pulling up from deep, man. He's got a shot selection like Curry some nights. 1-800-Lunatic saying, Mr. When It Counts. I love that. That's true. That's the true definition of a winner right there. And that's why I want Fred VanVleet to stay in the starting lineup as long as he's a Raptor. He brings Kyle Lowry energy. That's a bold statement, but I mean it. Logan saying Fred thinks he's Drake or something. I guarantee you, as Adonis gets older, Drake's going to tell him that was him out there in the NBA Finals, but it's really Freddie VanVleet. They are full-blown twins. I think it's hilarious to have that dynamic. Still mad that Drake left before half that game in the season opener. That really got me mad. But he's the GOAT, I guess. He can do that kind of stuff. And I know people are going to be debating me on that in the chat. I get it. It's different eras. He's not as big as Michael Jackson was, but I'm a Drake stan. I don't know what to say. Right now, 92-86 for Toronto. Freddie V carrying up the ball. I believe Holiday just scored. Scottie? Oh, yeah. That was a great feed. I think that was from VanVleet. Scottie Barnes scoring deep in the post. Puts us up by 8 points late in the game here. Oh, OG. Wow. Good second effort by Duarte, but good defensive play out right away there from OG and Anunoby. I'm glued in right now. I've been kind of ignoring the chat a little bit. I'll get catched up in a moment, but caught up. But I'm just focusing on this game right now because this is close and the Raptors look like they're going to win it, but that's not really close. 6 points, 2 possessions. Raptors looking like they're in closeout mode on the road. You love to see it. Marcel Martin saying Donda greater than CLB. This seems to be more and more often just like the prevalent take to have. I liked Donda. I'm like a big Kanye West fan, but I felt like there was more replay value in Certified Lover Boy. No, that's not a popular opinion. Sabonis steals the ball. Pulls out on the fast break. Holiday from 3. I take back what I said. It is a close game. 1 possession game. They got time for a shot after the shot clock, so they're definitely going to... I don't think they're going to foul. Are they just fouled? Okay, guess they have a foul to give. (1-800-Lunatic) pointing out Scottie Barnes' line right now. 19 points, 12 rebounds. This kid's a beast. A beast. And I got to check right now as well what he's got for assists. Hopefully he's been passing it a little bit. Yeah, 1 assist. All right, better than nothing. But Scottie Barnes does a lot of playmaking that doesn't necessarily show up on the box score. Oh my God, VanVleet misses from the line. So I guess they didn't have one to give. I was surprised they fouled there because they could have got the ball back with enough time to jack up a 3 and tie the game. But hopefully Fred can bury them right here, get it to a 4-point deficit. It's good. Mr. When it counts, Freddie VanVleet puts the Raptors up by 4. 15 seconds left. Scottie Barnes D'ing up McConnell here. It's back to Holiday, to Sabonis for 3. Oh. Whew, okay. We got a game. We got a game, ladies and gentlemen. Scottie gets fouled, so hopefully it's going to go to the line here and end up with 21 points. The Raptors will be, again, a 3-point lead, but this means that no matter what happens at the line, there's going to be a chance to tie up the game and potentially even win it if Scottie misses one for the Pacers. Not what you like to see, but I'm still confident here. Raptors will pull this out. Knocking on wood. All right, Scottie. It's a tall task. First one goes in, money, swish. Oh man, we are up to 150 viewers in here. Thank you everyone who's viewing. This is a nail biter at the moment. Scottie's about to take his second free throw. Appreciate all of you. Let's see. And it's good. Ice in his veins, man. Let's go. That's incredible poise from a rookie, and especially one who wasn't really known for free throw shooting. Oh, Scottie hurt? I feel like people just saw my heart drop. Prayers up for Scottie, man. He's okay. I think he might have just jammed a finger. Ugh. Fun fact, actually, I was playing basketball. Misses a 3. There we go. Raptors win. Scottie Barnes comes up huge down the stretch. OG Anunoby along with Gary Trent, Fred VanVleet. Great game. I was just going to say Scottie Barnes, I was worried he might have dislocated a finger there or something. Yeah, he's still grimacing. Oh, man, you got to hope he's okay. That's not good. Yeah, I was playing pickup basketball. People are asking about my hoop skills earlier. It's good. I get into people on defense, but, sometimes it ends up with you dislocating a finger, and now it's still all crooked. But you know what? That's the price you pay playing street ball sometimes. Definitely wish my pinky wasn't so crooked, but there you go. Defensive energy all the time. Raptors win. Let's go, guys. Thank you so much for making this live stream. It was a work in progress. I don't have all the animations. I kind of screwed up the intro. At times, I had to go plug in my computer. This was very much so a work in progress, but you guys, especially you followers who were out here following from the opening whistle to right now, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure hosting this first live stream. My bet obviously did not hit. Scottie Barnes got his points. Delano Banton did not, but Chris Boucher hit his 3. So tonight it was Delano who cost me. He's been hot as of late. And I blame Ben Rogers because he told me to bet on him. But I ultimately clicked on it because I believed in Delano as well. So thank you guys so much. Really, honestly, I appreciate this tons. There's going to be a lot more content coming out. Check out on game days what I'm saying for bets because that's going to be a big part of the show. I've got my bets obviously up there in the left-hand corner. I think I pointed the wrong way there, but let me know what you guys are gambling on. We'll all ride the bets together, and it's always fun here at the Raptors Digest community, so appreciate every single one of you tuning in. I'll hand you guys over to Ben and Riker for the post-game. Big Raptors W.